Welcome to the Life Currency Podcast. I'm your host, Bob Lozano, a show that explores success, growth, and opportunity in the restaurant industry. A restaurant podcast by restaurant people, powered by F&P Media. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Life Currency Podcast. When I tell you I'm excited, that would be an understatement. I'm sitting here with a friend, I would call a friend, an entrepreneur, somebody that is taking the food truck business by storm, somebody that has a lot of experience, and somebody that I have a lot of respect for. What he does day in and day out is not easy, but it's an integral part of the food industry. And I would like for him to introduce himself. What's going on, man?
That was awesome. Jerry Leal.
Hell yeah, bro.
I was like, keep going with it.
Yeah.
That was good.
Let's do it.
That was really good.
Thanks, man. No, Jerry, appreciate you being here, man. It's like I said, I have a huge, I know we look at shit from different angles, right? From our day to day. But from my angle, I feel like in the Rio Grande Valley and also just food in general, I think you play such a big part. I have a lot of experience from the franchising world that, a lot of concepts start out of a food truck. And so would love to hear your story, man. Want to know how Pineapple Ninja came about. But more than anything, dude, I just want to appreciate you for being here because you sharing what you've learned. How long have you been in the game now?
8 years of March 7th. So 7
Let's
and change going on 8.
Let's go. Okay.
Yeah,
so 8 years. I think people think of food trucks and there's a lot of emotions that come about, good, bad, and you have felt every single one of those emotions, right? And so, yeah, let us know a little bit about how Pineapple Ninja started.
Yeah, man. So it wasn't overnight, right? So it was a lot of things that played into kind of the bigger picture of what people see now, the colors, the facade, the plating, all that good stuff. So cooking was always a therapeutic thing that I did in private, right? Not outdoors or carne asadas, but, just cooking a little pasta or something, but really taking my time with it and making sure presentation was something I could feel good about, right? So having a restaurant was always like a little hidden goal of mine that I had in the back of my mind while I was teaching at La Jolla. So eventually I got into a meal prep spot and, to try to practice, food handling and all that good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And it was going good, but I was just always hitting walls because I was felt like I wasn't a student of the game enough. I became a business owner a little too fast rather than working at certain projects or kind of shadowing somebody with some experience. Even if it was turning on a light at a restaurant, I was completely green when I jumped into that. So my passion kind of rode me through the tough paths that kind of made it last so long. But eventually, I wanted to get into the island because that's kind of like what you would see as the land of milk and honey for restaurants and food and beverage. I didn't pay attention to not having the money to do it. I just felt, I work hard enough, that'll catch on and doors will open. I did find a spot over there, started kind of desarrollando the idea of the Pineapple Ninja thing. It all came together really fast too. We were putting together a menu for meal preps influenced by island, island attractions. I had a wana meal that had like diced pineapple and coconut. So I went to Sprouts to buy extra pineapples for the garnishes. Saw they had a sell on seafood. I had seen some acai bowls on Pinterest where they stuff the pineapple and stuff, right? So I said, you know what? I'm going to cook for my staff that's meal prepping, but I'm going to use a lot of their ingredients, the rice, the veggies, and then just put some seafood. Took some pictures, the internet went crazy. I said, that's the restaurant, not meal preps. So immediately, like a one-day pivot from opening that. Yeah. So I go to the island. I show the health director, hey, you know what? I'm going to serve these things. They fall in love with it. He's like, this is going to do well here. Start the permitting process. And then I hit a brick wall regarding some engineering for a kitchen hood. There's condos on top, so you can't just put a kitchen hood sticking out. So that derailed a lot of that. Health director said, you already promoted too much of this idea. Someone's going to pick up on it if you don't execute. So I'm like, well, I'm out of money. There's no way I can do it on a restaurant. He's like, well, we just passed an ordinance for food trucks. Didn't know what the hell a food truck was. I put that in my back pocket, drove home all quiet. You know how that drive?
Yeah.
Damn, it all.
Do it almost every day.
Yeah, right? So I was like, man, what just happened? Get home to my apartment in McAllen at the time. I go for a jog and literally about a mile down the road was a food truck for sale. And a bunch of other things just lined up, but that's how I guess Pineapple Ninjas happened. It was just all those things that came into play. And I didn't really think too much of it. You know, I was just obsessed with just materializing on the idea, whether it wins or loses, just for the sake of it not going somebody else doing it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it worked out well. A lot of hard lessons, but we would see some really good days, right? And those days, I would tell myself, you know, if I was just a little more experienced, if I gave myself more time, became more of a student of this, we'll see them more often, right? And then came the off season, where nothing happens on the island. So from gaining some momentum on the student part of things to just like absolutely nothing, you know, we had to make a decision. It was like, okay, do we come back home and try to do this whole thing, or do we go up north? Went up north, saw a couple of good gigs.
That was in year one?
Year one.
Oh, damn. Nice.
Yeah. I used my car as collateral to buy that food truck and to put together all the equipment that I needed. So ironically, the week I saw that food truck was the week I got the title for my car, took it to the bank, the Greater State Bank, who I still do business with.
Oh, let's go.
And
Shout out Greater State Bank.
They were, yes, shout out. They were smart enough to lend me the money to finish my food
I
truck.
like that.
Yeah, so it was exciting times. And we took it up north, and the concept just took off differently over there. You know, the nostalgia we were giving people, you know, it tied in environmentally. You know, it was like it made them feel like they were visiting the island. Things that I didn't know my brand could deliver, I was learning, taking it up north, right? And off season ended. We came back to the island. Things got better because of that marketing and moving around. And my ambitions to want to do more trucks, you know, I guess started to grow. So I'm like, man, one day I'm going to have a bunch of Pineapple Ninjas, just as many as McDonald's, all that good stuff, right? Because I'd be going to bed watching this movie, The Founder, and waking up to it. So my goal was to buy land and do all this stuff, right? But, you know, growing pains. Again, I was still very young in the game. No matter at the rate I was growing, buying trucks, I was still very new to the game when it came to being organized. So I was making a lot of mistakes, but I was waking up early, staying up late so that I could see them through and move on, right? Was failing through that day-to-day thing. And one day I was listening to a podcast, Good Money, with Derek Kinney. He's got some good stuff. I'll send you some of his podcasts. On adding value to people's lives, kind of learning how the world is changing, how people, it's not that people don't want to work, it's people don't want to work without a purpose. You know, it's finding something that ties in with their efforts and finding purpose to tie it into. It'll go longer and it'll keep them more satisfied, right? And I felt like that question answered itself in my head. I'll make them a business owner by making them not a partner, but a tenant. I already have the experience in getting permits because we've been all over. I've faced different challenges to different counties. I mean, they're not going to take as long to get started as me. I think it should work. Yeah. And one at a time, I took off the branding from the Ninja trucks that I had two. So I took off the branding from one, put it for rent, and things started going good. And then the pandemic hit in 2020. So that had to close down. And real briefly, SpaceX then contacted us to serve breakfast, lunch, and dinner, which I said, of course, I'm an expert. Definitely, I became an expert, right? But I mean, I needed the work, and I didn't want to be at home kind of just suffering through what was on TV, you know? So that really helped us, you know, stay locked in. I worked harder than I ever had in my life. And I came out of the pandemic with 15 food trucks. So from there, I was like, okay, now I got to make a decision. They're not going to work as ninjas because, you know, the irregularities with pricing and availability of pineapples, lobster, and all those crazy things. I'm like, I'm going to come up with other concepts and try to put other people, you know, in rhythm with what I got. Hopefully they're able to see the success and the doors open faster than I had for me. And so it began, I would say, right? Pineapple Ninjas travels all over. We're able to, you know, we do Formula One, all that good stuff. And my goal is just to grow people from the Valley fast track their process in food trucking so that they're working side by side with me at these platforms, because I've always felt that the Valley is capable. We just lack direction, you know. I felt that with me because as soon as I found someone or someone found me from Austin that pointed certain, you know, gave me some direction, I mean, I took off. And I still don't feel like I'm a capable chef, but I know where to focus my energy to get things done and just satisfy the client, right? And I feel people down here are more capable, more talented, and more deserving than me. They just need that guidance. And I'm opening the doors for people little by little because of Pineapple Ninjas. So I know I might have gone a little bit off topic, but that's basically the way it came together, and some of the stuff we're doing right now. And it's influenced again by just wanting to own our success, you know, and not being too vulnerable to local politics and stuff like that make it challenging for brick and mortars to really take off, you know. So you know, food trucking has been that way for me.
Bro, I see so many good things there, and I want to just hit on a couple of them. One, you're no doubt you have the willingness to do what it takes, and like you did that, right? But more importantly, I think you had the willingness to pivot. And I think I see so many business owners that don't pivot when you need to pivot, and we get emotional about our business. And I'm sure you're passionate. I mean, I don't want to confuse emotion and passion, but your willingness to pivot, even that first year when you said, "Oh, well, customers are not coming anymore. It's downtime. Where do I go?"
Yeah.
I just think that that's so valuable, and I think that's just an admirable trait, man. Because a lot of the pivoting, it can strike a little bit of fear. It's like, where am I going to go, or what am I going to do? And so, for you to do that in year one, I think that just speaks towards like your resilience about, no, I'm gonna make it happen. I'm gonna find a way, and that's badass, man. So you fast tracked us through SpaceX. Was SpaceX also year one or year two?
It was year 2.5. So it was 2019 going. We did our first race, Formula One 2019. So that brought in a bunch of different,
Bro, you've been at this for a minute.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
Nice.
So this year will actually be our 7th year doing Formula One, which is insane. I never thought I'd ever see, you know.
Yeah.
And now, not only that, we're able to last year we had 8 concession stands for Formula One versus 1 when I first started. Now this year we're hoping to be over 10, along with 4 different brands from the Valley. So,
dude,
you know, we're bringing
incredible.
people up with us. But yeah, SpaceX happened right after our first F1. I think somebody saw some of the promotion that we were, somebody from SpaceX went to the race or something, and then kind of saw that we were from South Padre, found us online, and they were having us cater to them once, twice a week. Then when the pandemic happened, that's when they're like, "Hey, would you be committed to doing this, you know, straight through?" And
so you're essentially a food and beverage partner to Formula One.
Oh,
and
definitely.
They just go
Circuit
through,
of Americas.
Yeah, Circuit of Americas. Yeah. And so you're on their vendor list, and it's as Pineapple Ninja or Jerry, or how does
Pineapple Ninjas?
Pineapple Ninjas.
Yeah, by now. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you bring the other options,
Correct.
the other food trucks.
Correct.
Man, dude, what an experience. Do you remember, let's go back to when it started. Do you remember your first day open?
First day at F1 or my first day at Ninjas?
First day at Ninjas.
I'll never forget it. So I obviously didn't have the luxury of time. Once I got the unit ready to pass permitting, you know, we got everything, I guess, fabricated and put together in McAllen, took it across the causeway. I remember I took it across the causeway at night, right? So it was like a Thursday night. We park it outside the location, and it was spring break. So at 10, 11, the bar started getting popping. I obviously didn't have a permit to start opening yet, but you know how it goes.
Yeah.
So we were cleaning up. I said, man, fuck it. Let's turn on the grill. We turned on the grill. We did really good selling tacos, and that's how we started. It was, I think it was March 7th. And then from there, the next day we had our inspection Friday morning. We passed, and they asked why was the grill dirty. I said, because we were testing everything.
Yeah.
You know, smells like they're just cooked here. Like, yeah, we're testing for breakfast and stuff with our breakfast. But yeah, we got started. That's how we got started. And I think I was so depleted with just how hard things were for me getting to that moment that I wasn't really present. I mean, I remember it, right? But emotionally, I was checked out. I was just like, damn, I hope this works. And if it doesn't, I don't care. Because I was just so exhausted from the disappointment that led to me being there, right? Whereas to a lot of people from the outside, it's like, wow, you're the first food truck on the island and stuff. What it took to get there wasn't something I did by choice. You know, it was on necessity and need, and the fastest way for me to feel I have some control of not my life, but just my livelihood, you know, work. I'm capable of doing so many other things. I have a formal education and stuff, but just mentally, I just could not find myself, right?
Yeah. So did you tell the school district that you were out, or did you like test it out for the summer and see like?
No, I was out. And you know what sucks is I knew the moment I was out, they put me to do some pointless job. I was like putting up some poster, and I was like, oh my goodness, like from someone who's worked with Floyd Mayweather, done all this stuff. I mean, I love my profession as a teacher. It was just that one moment that it was again, a bunch of moments that led to that emotion at that moment. I was doing something completely pointless, right? And I was like, it's my choice. I took myself there, right? To be that in that job. And I recall, I was like, all right, this is it. I'm gonna just check out. And in 10 years, I'm gonna have some cool story to tell.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's been 7.5 years. The story's been pretty badass, right?
Yeah,
But,
dude, there's a lot of stories. There's a lot of stories, bro.
yeah,
I can't wait to hear a lot of them.
So-
That's crazy, man. Well, I want to mention I just want to say thanks for your efforts as a teacher, because I have a huge respect for teachers and people in education. And what a difference
Yeah,
you went from teaching to
but
food truck.
I feel that it built my discipline a lot, my patience. You know, I was working with special ed kids. I was working in La Jolla too. So, you know, I really appreciate that. I felt good doing what I was doing, being that person, that character in these kids' lives, you know, because I was positive at the workplace. You know, I understood their background and stuff like that. So it was exciting for me to show up. But as far as I'm talking about when I didn't feel present was personal growth. I felt like I wasn't making advancements towards, you know, investments or something beyond the 9 to 5, right? So it was nothing at all with that. It was just myself beyond that. I'm like, come on, dude, like you're underperforming, right? And I was real enough with myself to be like, okay, gave myself an audit. I'm like, you still in I was like late 20s, late 20s. You got to do something right now.
Yeah.
It's never too late, right? But I was having that right now moment. And that's when I said, okay, let's just go all in with the food. And I did. And that was it. I mean, I obviously had to adjust the way that I lived. You know, I lived very conservatively. I dropped down to like 170 pounds. I have some pictures where I don't recognize myself. And I'm slim, but yeah, it was just the stress. And
well, bro, you're looking super healthy now. I mean, I know you're doing
now.
Yeah.
We got steak food trucks now. You know,
there you go. I like that. No, but you're also doing some other stuff, right? I mean, you kind of stayed away from drinking here and there. You've done. I always see you doing all kinds of runs and you're doing all kinds of healthy stuff.
It's just
where'd that come from, or what?
It's just wanting to lead my industry. You know, I'm trying to do things that other people who I look up to in my industry are not doing. Aside from showing up to work and stuff, it's just those little extra things that, at least mentally for me, make me feel that I'm either going to catch up to them or surpass them eventually, right? Will that happen? Who knows? But it makes me perform good for those around me. And I think it helps me sell what I do more confidently as well. You know, I'd bet on me to be the guy getting me a food truck permit. I mean, look what the hell I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? So I want people to have that confidence in me when it comes to my industry, because it truly is a reflection of how I handle business on the outside, you know? So
That's a great point, man.
It goes hand in hand.
Yeah. Let's go back to the getting into food. Did you have somebody that was kind of like a inspiration, or somebody that kind of pushed you to the food business itself, or you just found it as like a different industry you wanted to try out?
I got to work a bit with Rick Macias. He had it was a restaurant called Infusions, right? So I would see them do their thing. He would let me walk in the kitchen, and he was really cool to like let me see the passion behind the kitchen, you know, before the plate comes out, right? So that was what I would say was really cool. And I was like, okay, if you're gonna do something, it's gotta be good quality. It's gotta look good, because that's what worked. What I would spend money on at the time, right? And a lot of television, right? You see that. You see the lines when people tell these success stories, and I was like, you know, I feel I can work harder than them when it's not even about work. You know, it's a lot of other things that you need to learn to line up that eventually will lead to your turn to having that success. But no, not. I mean, you see the Anthony Bourdain's, Diners and Dives, Man versus Food, you know. So
Chopped,
those things are cool.
Chopped.
I mean,
did you ever watch Chopped?
Chopped. Which one's that one?
Chopped, where they gave them like 3 ingredients and they had to make like something out of those 3 ingredients.
Oh man, that sounds like food trucking. They should just call it that.
Bro, I love Chopped, bro. That show went hard. I remember when I lived in Denton. Man, I felt like it was Chopped every day, bro. Like I had okay, I have saltine crackers, I have ramen, and I have a piece of fruit. Like let's whip something up. Yeah, dude, it's crazy, bro. But yeah, I loved Chopped. Man, that's great, man. So you just took in a lot of information and just got off the ground with it. That's so crazy. So you mentioned COVID. Dude, we opened our first Schlotzsky's right before COVID. And I'll never forget, they sent me an email or whatever. Congratulations, you've had the best grand opening of all time or whatever, or something. Record breaking, I think they said. And I was like, man, that's awesome. And I went home that day, and it was like 2 days later, the world just shuts down. And I was like, oh no, man. Bro. So it was rough, dude. Yeah, COVID was weird, man. COVID was really weird. But did the food truck game, did you see a lift during COVID? Because people didn't want to go to restaurants, right?
Yeah, so it's a real good question, because you got to understand, yeah, it did open the door for a lot of food trucks, but you got the food truck operators weren't thinking with that same enthusiasm of I get to do business. A lot of these people were scared about what was going on or what was in the media. So just because food trucks could open didn't mean there was everybody in line waiting to open to serve people. They were scared about the contact and all that stuff, right? But for us, I'm terco. So I saw it as the opportunity that you've seen it as, right? So we took initiative to do food deliveries. Up to a certain extent, we were doing, curbside, but then the city inevitably had to kind of go through with the regulations of complete shutdown. But I mean, we did see that good boom. What did suck for us was we had just recorded our segment for the Texas Bucket List in February, which was planned to be released spring break, just to add to that whole boom for ninjas. And I'm like, this is it. This is the game changer. And then the shutdown happened, which still in turn ended up being a game changer. And then the segment was released probably around May, which was around the time that the economy opened up for a bit. That helped propel us through the summer. And then we're back at Formula One in the winter. So then that's when we really gained momentum and started to really have fun with the wave.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah.
Let's leave aside performance of the individual food trucks for a second. What was your favorite product that you ever put together? Because I mean, 15 food trucks, that's a lot of different ideas, products.
Yeah, and we're modest when we say 15.
Yeah.
It's a few more.
I'm sure you've cycled through a few
more.
Yeah.
We just, No,
it's always good to be conservative.
It's good. Yeah. No,
Let them find out the rest.
And then as an organization, I mean, with the people that we consult, that we have a part of our program, I mean, it's more than 50. So we're doing really well. We're earning people's trust. What was it?
Favorite product.
My favorite. Man, you got to give it a Ninjas because it's the one that kind of opens the doors for all of them. But
I don't think people know what we're talking about. But just describe your main dish.
Yeah,
at Ninjas.
Pineapple Ninjas. It's island inspired food. So we grab a pineapple, cut it in half, shuck out the inside. We add our seasoned rice and then your choice of a half-pound lobster tail, grilled jumbo shrimp, grilled chicken with grilled zucchini. It's a beach in a bowl, baby.
I got to take that back. People know what we're talking about. I just want
to
to remind them.
Come on.
Yeah, they know by now.
You should.
You know what's so crazy, man, is when we were at the conference together and your truck wasn't there.
Yeah.
And some girl's like, oh, you're Pineapple Ninja or whatever. I want to try your product.
Yeah.
I see you disappear for like 10 minutes or something, 15 minutes. I don't know how long it was. And you come back with a full-blown pineapple. I'm like, where the hell did this guy cook this shit?
We got runners, bro.
Yeah, got runners.
We got ninjas. So we sent someone to go grab some lobster tails, pineapples, and, the trucks that were there working the event were mine. So we immediately put together the resources just to showcase this. And I mean, the people that got it were, they have millions of followers on social media. So it was kind of worth our irregular heartbeat to get that set up.
Dude, it was great. And you didn't see what I saw. And I don't remember the exact dates for that. I think it was in November. I'm going to have to find it. I'll find it right now. In life, performance matters. But let's be honest, Nice Buns matters more. Here at F&P, we have launched Nice Buns Paddle Club. Built to last and looks good from every angle. Don't burn out. Stay active. I'm like, what the fuck? Jerry just busted out a pineapple out of nowhere. I was like, where did this come from? So I'm filming it. And I don't know who the girl was that you made it for or whatever.
Yeah, it was the wife of one of the guest speakers.
Oh, okay. So you walk away, you leave. And I'm just there like, I was just impressed. I'm like, man, Jerry just makes it happen, dude. And he's really proud of his product, whatever. So I'm filming and she doesn't know. And I'm just taking a picture of your pineapple. And she's there. She's like, this is the best seafood I've ever had in my life. And I was like, oh my gosh, dude. So it was awesome. Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm not even kidding. I'll send you the video. I should have sent it to you sooner.
I took my time with it, man. I had to,
That's awesome, bro.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. The pineapple ninja concept's so unique. And I know you and I engaged in a conversation on this. And I appreciated your honesty because you've created a brand that is uniquely positioned for events and for, I would say, more niche audiences,
100%.
right? And so can you speak a little bit about that, where you're traveling and going to these events and selling something that's Instagrammable and something that people are having fun with versus something that might be open on an everyday basis?
No, see, that's a good topic to touch on because I know how to pick my fights, right? And it's like I tell people, you got to first understand your audience, right? And then find a problem. People say, well, there's already too many taco trucks down here, taco spots. Okay, we can look for a problem. Well, so and so taqueria is really good because they're always packed. Maybe create something that's just as good but faster.
Mm-hmm.
Promote your capacity of speed, service with quality. There you go. That's what people want to hear. That's how you start, right? For me, I felt that there was a little bit of substance that lacked, not on the island, but in general, when it comes to the things I was seeing on the internet versus and the environments they were in. I was like, man, you can do so much more, right? So instead of talking about it, I'm like, well, this pineapple thing's not going to take off in McAllen. But on the island, you supplemented with the background of the sand and the waves. And, that's what I started to hit. Much like our hot dog carts outside of bars. You don't see them in the morning serving bagels, right?
Yeah.
So for us, we just now learn to understand, to find a problem, and just hit the niche. Don't try to reinvent the wheel. You can. Might it work? You're risking it. But if you just go with what's been working, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of like when you talk about major changes. That's why you see the Burger King, McDonald's, Dairy Queen there. It's not rocket science. It's just consistency and patience. And if the research has been done on the numbers of the passing through traffic and all that, inevitably with time, it has to work. And if it doesn't, it was something freak that just was missed. But it wasn't the homework was done. And I feel in food trucks, it's very easy to do that because even if you miss, you just turn on the truck and go practice somewhere else for $20 of gas, So that's what I figured out with Ninjas. I knew where to take it. I mean, there's a reason why we chose Austin instead of Waco or instead of Dallas, right? There's a lot of reasons that go beyond just well, it's big.
Yeah.
We do a lot of research as to the ethnic events that happen there. Asian festivals were huge at Asian festivals. Seafood festivals as well. Austin has some of the biggest ones.
Bro, I'm not even kidding. I'm not hyping you up, so don't think I'm hyping you up. But because you always say shit and you're always like, you say it like a joke. You're like, oh, you have to find the niche. Or you have to find it. Yeah. But you're spitting fire, bro, for sure. Like people don't make that connection immediately. People don't see an audience, a consumer, and a product, and the opportunity to put those two together. And you see that very clearly in a lot of different ways. And so when I hear you talk, it's very interesting because there's a lot of people in the restaurant world, but you have an expedited muscle for that because you're constantly finding it. In the restaurants, I mean, you're trying to find people to come to your restaurant every single day, so your tactics are different. But I'm not kidding, bro. Your ability to put a product in front of the right people and just do what it takes to get there is it's really impressive. I'm not kidding. Like,
and it's an aggressive approach to also, like, let's say you have a location where I feel I could put a truck in there. I'm gonna go and find you as a landlord to get a yes or a no. And you can't do that with like prime land. Like you find land, you got to make the offer. Then is it in your range? This and that. Food truck, I can go up to you. I already know what number will entice you. And it's going to be a matter of the city ordinance allowing the zoning to get it done. And that's what turns me on to go and chase prime real estate because I can get someone in there fast.
Yeah.
Versus informal real estate where, come on, the millions of dollars here and there versus I'm ready to work,
Yeah.
So I just fell in love with that chase. And then kind of like I said, finding those niches, I mean, to the point, like I said, one day you'll see me at Formula One where there's 250,000 people. And then you'll see us outside of a bar where there's 250 people with one of our hot dog carts. We're having the same amount of fun because we're fulfilled that we hit that nail in the head. Yeah. And it's just going to lead to some revenue. We're going to make some money and that's it,
For perspective purposes on the revenue, what's a bad day? I mean, zero. Just kidding. Yeah.
Rainy and cold.
Yeah. What's a bad day and what's a great day?
It just depends where. I mean, if you're talking about Formula One, it's unreal. What my goals as a business were to do in a year, you can see it in a weekend. If you need to, like, that's more than anything what I really like to train for, just to be capable that whole weekend to be, go through sleep deprivation, have to carry heavy things, run back and forth and make decisions quick. That requires that amount of seriousness to change your life that fast because we didn't do it like that the first term. But I saw others around me that were flipping $250,000, $500,000 in 3 days. I'm like, how?
Well, I think people people forget that there's all kinds of food vendors and food partners at these events. I mean, I have a good friend of mine. He's a chef at Uchi, and Uchi's there at
Yeah.
Formula One.
The
and that's
best in
some
the
of
world is there. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
so
it's a showcase of everything: cars, fashion,
yeah,
food,
yeah.
speed, and everything.
And then Jerry.
Oh, sometimes, yeah.
That's crazy, man. That's awesome. Did you ever or you run into some famous people out there?
Yeah,
and
we
stuff,
saw
or?
Lewis Hamilton. They were
Oh,
filming what is it? The F1, the Netflix F1, and
Yeah.
they're literally right in front of, because our food truck is in the grandstands, right? The main grandstands where all the VIPs are at. And he shows up there and he's walking, and I got a picture of him. We've seen most of the racers because we do a VIP party on Thursdays. We cater that event.
Oh, nice.
So we see a bunch of their the coaches and the managers and all that good stuff. Celebs, not off the top of my head. I mean, but they are there. You have Brad Pitt,
Yeah.
DiCaprio, and all
Or you
those
just
that are
move
there.
the truck a little bit behind them or
I
something.
mean, it's
Come out on
just,
camera.
you can't tell because people, I mean, it's sunny, so everybody's wearing like big hats and glasses, and you're going fast. You're
Yeah.
not, you know,
Yeah.
it's unbelievable. It's unreasonably fast. You know, we got 3 cashiers running 10 to 15 transactions a minute between 3. So it is just speed, speed, speed. The kitchen inside is forecasting what's going to be sold. And we
Mhm.
trust that it's not going to sit long enough to get cold. So
Mhm.
it's just one guy's doing chicken bowls, one's doing shrimp, the other one's doing smoothies, and just slam the counter with them. And we're just handing them off. By the time the cart is done processing, the food's already on the counter for the client to just walk away.
That's awesome. Good for y'all, man. You know, we've looked at a lot of different franchises, and a lot of these franchises actually have come from food trucks, like I was mentioning earlier. And I think it's important that we understand the important role that food trucks play in the industry, right? So a lot of you already hit on a lot of them, but you trial, right? Product trial. So people get to try your product. You get to see if people respond positively to it. I'm sure you've put out some stuff that people didn't buy.
100%.
You know? Yeah, and so you got to change, right? So I love the product trial piece. I love the testing out of markets, right? Let's see if this product works in this market, and if it doesn't, maybe it's not set for or it's not made to have a brick and mortar in there, right? So there's that, and then there's some brands that just blow up that started. I think Dave's Hot Chicken actually started maybe like at a tent, but same concept, right? It's not a brick and mortar, and they just sold for nearly $1 billion, right?
Yeah.
And they just really hit it at the right time with the right focus. And so there's others. There's halal guys. You know, there's Kogi Barbecue out of LA that do some really cool stuff. And I think that we need to understand, and that's why I was excited to meet with you, man, because we need to understand the importance of food trucks in even franchising. And maybe people don't make that direct link because they eventually see the brand when it's already established or when it's already in a brick and mortar. So that's really cool, man. Speaking on that topic, from who you've worked with and who has worked with you, who's made that jump to a brick and mortar successfully?
See, right now, what we're starting to see is more brick and mortars jumping into food trucks so they can explore new markets, right?
Yeah.
And then the people that we've had jump onto food trucks with us have enjoyed the food truck industry and the control they have, that instead of expanding upwards towards brick and mortars, they're expanding with food trucks, right?
Yeah, so that's
which completely has changed because
behind the scenes.
Yeah, which is wild because I mean, my goal was one day I wanted a restaurant and stuff, where now I'm like, okay, I'll invest in a restaurant, but I don't want the full,
I haven't called you, but I literally have a pending call to you about doing a Schlotzsky's food truck because I want to test out the Lower Valley. And
I'm ready.
Yeah, I know.
It's
Let's
ready.
do it. The one that I get excited about is Cinnabon because I really like. I mean, one, you get a super good smell, you know, from the product. Two, I love the blue, the Cinnabon blue that we use. I think it's really cute. I think it's a fun brand. I think it's very catchy. It eye pops like from a distance, etc. But Schlotzsky's and Cinnabon, bro. Like I think we need to get one up.
You
and
just set
running.
them up at the high school, you know, during the games and stuff. It's you won't lose. You're already prepared to invest in the aesthetic. You're gonna your client's gonna know what to expect before they walk up to their truck. With food trucks, people eat with their eyes twice.
Mm-hmm.
When they're walking up to your truck and when the food comes out the window. And there's 3 variables that are very important. Of course, the unspoken ones, make sure you're open, but it's aesthetically, is your truck pleasant enough to walk up to? Then the customer service. And then the food when it comes out, can I put it on Instagram? If you hit those 3, they won't even care if respectfully. They're so
Yeah, I mean, it's an
buzzing
experience.
with
Yeah, of course.
awesomeness.
Yeah.
They won't. The food can be terrible, but they're so delighted that they convince themselves that it is awesome. I'm not saying that their food won't be terrible, because obviously the customer service comes from the joy of the person doing their job. But I tell the food truckers, when it comes to me training them, I tell them, don't overthink on being a chef. That's the way that I get into their psyche to not get them to freak out on flavor and stuff. Do the portioning right when it comes to preparing, serving, cooking, all that. Everything will take care of itself. With repetitions, you'll get into rhythm. You'll serve good stuff. Just be open on time. Talk to them right. Overserve with delight.
That's
and
awesome,
it always
man.
lines up. It lined up for me. And like to this day, I say I'm not the best chef. I'm a capable cook.
Yeah.
Call it that. But there's other people, like I said, that the main variables when it comes to food truckers and where they fall off is the discipline. They fall off after a big day. They'll show up late, stuff like that. They don't know how to manage the money once they start making the money, and taxes. It's the same thing with money management, I guess, right? But to start training those in a hot dog cart, which is what we're doing now, by the time they have a food truck, it's just going to become a natural practice to learn to put money aside, to learn not to live above their means, because that always seems to be the variable that has them fall off. That I've seen, because you're asking me, which trucks have you seen turn into from a food truck to a restaurant? Not really many. How many have I seen fall off that should have? A ton, right? Tons of people with capacity and just the skill, but that little discipline, or listening to the noise and stuff like that, or even the wife. I mean, when I was starting this thing up, I was so addicted to the growth and focus that, my daughter, I would put things aside from it. I would miss a birthday and not think twice, which made me more aggressive to want to come out with something from this. I said, there's no way I'm going to miss out on this and be like, chingao. I'm not trying anymore. I'm putting it in, and I'm going to get something from it with back pay. And it's going to take really good care of me. There is no, I just treat the industry like that because I had to trade something for it that I'm never going to get back. Right? So fine, then take care of me moving forward. And that's why I'm very serious about when it comes to food trucking. Certain jokes, I'll make jokes, right? But it's not, the industry's not a joke.
You crack jokes?
A little bit. No, there's some when it comes to the way that we handle it, it's not what you would see in a movie or a YouTube or something like that. This is a serious thing that's also changing people's lives, right? And there's serious businesses involved. Just like you said, you're thinking about it as well. You guys are a serious business.
This is the real talk on what's working, what's failing, and what it takes to win in the restaurant industry. Welcome to Pillar Mindset. If you're enjoying this episode and want to learn more about what we're talking about here, tune into our other channel, Pillar Mindset. On Pillar Mindset, we're breaking down the data, the strategies, and the real-life wins and losses at F&P Group. This is where we will really deep dive into what we're talking about here. Thanks for watching Life Currency Podcast. Like, comment, and subscribe.
You want someone like us to handle what you're putting your brand on. You know what I'm saying? So it's because of that consistency and being able to coach it through the mistakes that I also made, that I feel I could have been doing greater things. I don't want them to make, emotions that I'm able to coach. Because there's brands that have grown, but man, I think more of the ones that didn't, that I'm just like, damn, man, they had it all, they were going to change their lives and mine with just a very small, me being a very small part of that was just going to change my life big, but just a victim of things out of their control, social aspects, family things that just, you don't prepare for, right? You don't train trauma, right? I mean, we don't. So those are the things that I would say, like I said, you ask about those, I think more about the ones that didn't. But, right now we're in a very good place where people are catching on that we are helping people, putting them on. And at the end of the day, it's never going to be about me. There's nothing anyone in the industry is doing that I'm not going to do for myself or I haven't already done.
Yeah, and that's an important part, man, because they see you doing it and they see you moving also.
Yeah,
and
so
they
you
want
can
to move
be
like you.
You can be an open book when it comes to the concept, it comes to your recipes. I'm doing what I like already, and I'm very happy. I'm good. If anything, I can put you on to resource-wise where to grab some of your inventory. But, I like when people feel comfortable enough to tell me that, because we cut the bullshit faster, and we're able to really genuinely have the conversation of, are you onto something or not?
Yeah.
And then I can pinpoint it to something that I've done that either worked or didn't, right? So we run through it faster, and I earn their trust, and I earn them as a client, and we get to make money together, and that's
Special.
that's the fun part. It is.
Yeah,
It is.
It is special.
It is special.
Speaking of special and helping people, I saw you also did what was it, like a field day or a training with all the kiddos?
Oh yeah, those
That
are
was
fun.
awesome,
Man, we do a
What
bunch
was
of
that?
those. We do
Really?
yeah, dude.
Okay.
We do a couple of
Yeah.
those, man. So we'll have schools call us for career day and stuff like that. And I love taking and showcasing our trucks
Yeah.
because in the market down here, there's not a lot of food trucks. So in my head, I like to think that when I take a food truck to where kids are able to check it out, and it's the first time they've seen a drivable food truck, let alone be in one, be able to turn and flip some switches. So that's always exciting because again, it's something that I never thought I would take to like that, let alone other kids be excited to talk about and all that good stuff. And you'll hear me, mama quiero una food truck,
Yeah.
because like I said, it's the fastest way for someone to be their own boss. And, there's just so many other things that are very challenging for La Raza to just jump into and be competent in the property taxes, the franchising fees. If they open a second location, like these small technicalities that will fold you. I can't liquidate a lease. I can liquidate a food truck, and kind of get back on my feet in a way. So that's why I went into the whole thing like that.
Good for you, man. Those career days, I think seeing the kiddos get all excited and
Man,
stuff,
and we love,
something else.
I don't overcomplicate it. Of course, when we're doing high school or college kids, we talk about more of the business aspect of it. But when it's elementary kids, I tell them, I get to go to I get to go to water parks.
Yeah.
I go to football games. And then I tell them my favorite part about all this is the road snacks. And then I'll have like a box of candy that'll show that like Ziploc bags of the different snacks that I enjoy eating on the road. So they got to walk through the truck, and then the driver's seat, they get a little bag of snacks and they walk out. So that's,
dude,
you know what I'm saying?
Hell yeah.
It's so much fun.
Man.
Yeah.
That's great.
Those are some of the best moments. I get to do it a lot for my daughter's school.
Yeah.
So seeing her share what I'm doing with, I get a lot. I feel I get my time back through those moments. It
Dude,
feels really
congrats
good.
to you, man. That's awesome. How old's your daughter?
She's turning 10 February. So in a couple of weeks.
So she was born around the time that you started this.
So that's why I'm
Extra pressure.
Yeah, extra pressure. So she was about 1.5 when I really kind of took off on the food thing. So yeah, I missed a lot of that meat. But luckily she really loves what I do. She loves watching me on the YouTube and all that stuff. So I'd like to think that the stuff that I put out is something that she's gonna be able to look at later on. Even the stuff on my Facebook, the pictures, she'll be able to make a connection when I'm tired and not in the mood to move a lot. I'll be like, well, look at the way I used to move when I was younger. So I like to think I'm putting together a scrapbook for her to enjoy.
That's cool, man.
Later on.
Yeah,
so.
very cool. The kiddos thing, we had 100 days of school. They do. I'm sure they do it at your girls' school. Also, the 100 days of school, whatever. They all dress up like old people and celebrate the 100 days. We did that we do it every year actually now with the Dairy Queen brand, where we take Mr. Blizzard and we go and pass out a lot of ice cream. Man, dude, you talk about what an experience. I wish people could be in the school when that's happening. I mean, they're just like, Mr. Blizzard.
It is crazy.
They go crazy.
The innocence.
Yes,
it is awesome.
Bro. Yes, it's crazy,
it's
man.
Contagious.
It's cool.
It feels good.
It does, and it's the power of the brand, and it's the power of fun, and y'all are doing a lot of that. So thanks for doing that, man. I mean, just on behalf of our Rio Grande Valley community, just because it's cool and it's impactful, and I think we sometimes overlook what that kid is going home.
Yeah.
And saying, dude, I saw a food truck today, telling friends, did you see the food truck also? That's really, really neat. You mentioned football, dude, and we haven't even touched on it, but I need to ask you, should the UT Longhorns been in the playoffs or not?
For the sake of everything that's college football right now, of course. Yeah.
I think you were say for the sake of Pineapple Ninjas.
For our sake as well.
That's too funny,
I mean,
man.
working with that organization has been life-changing. The things that it's taught me, I couldn't have imagined. I feel so capable to challenge not only things in my industry, but in anything, because I already know what it takes to take steps back and handle it with the grace that they taught me to handle shit. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It's tough. It is
you're doing
very
a
tough.
food truck, and then also
We have a concession stand inside the stadium. So
yeah, what was the first year you did that?
It was this past year.
This past year?
Manning's first year.
Good for you,
So
man.
it was really good. It's a year-to-year renewal thing. So for whatever it was worth, it was exciting.
Yeah.
We're supposed to be going back to do baseball with the food truck. We do some of their special events. Hopefully we're back for football. But yeah, it's just, I can't believe it. It's still surreal to have been there, to just be an important part of their customer experience, because you just see it on ESPN and all that. I mean, even when we did the baseball playoffs last year, they showed the Pineapple Ninja food truck on ESPN. It was like 20 seconds that the commentators were talking about it, because we were literally the only food truck serving on that platform. So got to give a huge thanks to our supervisors from up there for doing that for us. I mean, it's changed my life. And like I said, my attitude on everything, you know. I didn't go to school over there, but doing business with them makes me feel a part of their movement. So I make sure that when I'm doing here, anything with food trucks, I handle it with that grace and all that good stuff, so that, you know, they see that I'm a product of where I go work at.
That's awesome. And so they didn't ask you for a sponsorship or anything? I mean, it was just like, or they did? Yeah, no, that's
partnership
awesome,
only. That's it.
Yeah,
like
that's great. They believed in your product.
They did.
And yeah.
I wouldn't even know how to repay that to them. I mean, we wouldn't be able to do it as a sponsor.
Yeah.
But they were super helpful, and it's just, you know, something awesome.
That's crazy, man. So UT Longhorns, Formula One,
NASCAR, MotoGP, SpaceX, Charles Schwab, Westlake, Texas, Typhoon Water Park.
Wow.
Hopefully soon, Universal
Do you have
Studios.
a favorite or no? Not really. Maybe Formula One? I don't know.
I can't say.
Yeah. They're all my favorite.
I love them all.
Yeah.
Well, it's because, look, Formula One is obviously the craziest one.
Yeah.
But it requires like everything out of you, right? So obviously that's the best one financially. But like NASCAR, I like it because it's smaller crowd. You're able to really get some dirt on your feet, you know, walk around and engage a little more. MotoGP, it's a different level. And then
I don't even know what MotoGP is.
MotoGP is the world's biggest motorcycle race. So it's like F1 of motorcycles.
Yes.
So
yeah.
it's the same thing, but in motorcycles. So now you got the chunky cars in NASCAR.
Yeah.
The crotch rockets, and then you have the rockets. So
there you go. And is that all part of? Sorry, excuse my ignorance. I just don't know. But is that all
even
part
more
of,
why you need to come with me?
Yeah, dude, I'm about it, man.
Yes, sir.
But you got to put me in the kitchen or in the truck. I'm down, dude. Get me in the weeds, bro. I'm down.
Let's go.
So they're all part of the same thing, or they're all different organizations?
So different organizations, but one racing platform. So once they step foot on the track, I guess the track runs the show. But it's a damn good show that they know how to run.
That's awesome.
Also life-changing, of course. But I love Typhoon Water Park. I mean, they're like the Chick-fil-A when it comes to just standard service and etiquette. You know, I love the way they do business. They have one in Katy, Texas, and another one in Round Rock. The opportunity that we had with Charles Schwab, I mean, it's awesome. It's just teaching us more and more and more. So each of those has something special that it's offered my development as a businessman, not just a food trucker. So I love them all. I wouldn't have talked about them if not. And even SpaceX, I mean, it's taught me to work under pressure. Yeah. I feel I can build anything now. So yeah. Seeing
Pineapple rockets coming soon.
Anything. I'm like, it just takes time and trial and error.
That's crazy.
You'll figure it out.
Did you hear about they're discontinuing the Teslas, the Model S and Model X?
No.
Came out this week.
Oh, no.
This week. So apparently, I guess the way that I understood it, I didn't research too much, but Elon said they're making Model S's and Model X's, but not enough. And they want to repurpose all the factories to making all the robots now.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
That's happening then.
Yeah. Robots are going to start cooking Pineapple Ninja, man. That'd be awesome.
No, because you take away from the customer service aspect.
Yeah, well, hey, you can be outside the truck. Just kidding.
Right?
No, that's crazy. Yeah, dude, they just announced this week. So he's repurposing all those factories to robots, is the way I understood it. Now they'll still make all the other cars, but the S and the X is out.
Oh, that's wild.
You talk about pivoting, man. What a wild business he's in, and pivoting all the time.
So if you work around stuff like that, for me, right? And then you're seeing it on TV because you get to choose what you watch. And I was listening to podcasts and on him, right? I just felt, how can I not, maybe not change the world, but change my world at least, right?
Yeah.
From being here so long under so many weird circumstances. And that's kind of what I carried on when the world reopened.
Mm-hmm.
I just stayed aggressive. I have fun, but, I try to manage it as much in a controlled way as possible. Because then we'll get caught up in the sauce, have too much fun, and you just lose momentum when it comes to what you're trying to build.
Yeah.
But again, I mean, what I'm doing is nothing special. It's just consistency and I don't want to call it patience because things happen fast, man. You go out there, offer your services, 2-3 caterings in, I'm not gonna say it changed your life, but it can push you in a exciting trajectory.
Sure.
Right.
Sure.
That's it. Learn to manage your money. My biggest thing was having not so much a vision board, but just accountability board where I see how much I spend a month. I'm able to add any unforeseen expenses. Let's say we go have a big dinner. We put it in there. Pero no despegarme from the reality of what it costs and what it's costing,
Yeah.
you know? So that I remember that expense side has to make sense with the revenue side or what we're making, you know, what I earn, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Y ahí es donde me apendejaba, you know? You have a big lick and you lose track a couple of swipes. It's a different economy, man.
Yeah.
A couple $100, 1,000 flies like nothing. So I feel if I had done stuff like that to help keep me accountable, I'd be seeing more fruit. You know, I'd be doing better.
More piña.
Yeah, I'd be doing better, and so would a lot of people around me. So, you know, it's a system that I'm trying to tighten up.
Dude, you're learning fast and you're in it. And I know you're learning fast because you also shared with me when we had coffee. I mean, a few months back or whatever. But I'll never forget, man. You told me, and you can correct me how you said it if you remember. But you're like, people offer you money to grow the concepts all the time, and you're like, I don't need more money. I have money. I need ideas, or I need processes, or I need next steps. You know, or how did you say it? Remember,
100%, 100%.
Yeah.
I mean, much like the Lobster Kids, they have that niche for that content creating. They're hands on. They're students. I'm like, you know what? They bring me something that I don't have anymore at this age. That makes it exciting enough for me to throw down to partner.
Mm-hmm.
And so far, so good, right?
That's awesome.
They came in with little money, but their enthusiasm, and it's not enthusiasm alone, it's just that initiative to act. We can all gas it up, but just to do it, you know, they were doing odd shit, right? When it came to this concept. And I could tell right away, it's kind of to pull back the curtain and unveil character. And they were doing it. So right away, I knew that it's going to be a good ride. So far, so good. They're learning about expenses. And I tell them, look, this isn't going to be your life. This is going to be very fun supplemental income because you guys are capable of so much more. I'm not trying to tie down nobody to food trucking. There's no need to not have fun with it if you can.
Yeah.
And they're enjoying it. I mean, think about it. They're going to go work at NASCAR to learn and train for when they do MotoGP.
Oh, bro, you put them in the mix.
Man, and I said, the people they look up to, some of them don't even go to these events. And I said, if they do, they're not going to have your access. But what if they can? By supporting you. Yeah. And now we create sponsorship packages so they can get involved. Now you guys are able to work with the people you look up to because you have something that they like aside from ambition and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Now we can be friends because we're going to go, hey, come to the track with me. Mm-hmm. Who tells you that? You know, hey, come, I got a pair of tickets for NASCAR F1. You know what I'm saying? Like, come check it out from our aspect. So you see how we work. Yeah. So you see our character and how, you know, we can do more together.
Bring something to the table.
100%.
Yeah. That's great. Is that the newest concept, the Lobster Cone?
That's the newest one right now. Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Lobster Cone Co?
Lobster Cone Co.
Yeah, I still got to grab one of those.
Yeah. So it's cool. You know, quarter pound of fresh Maine lobster. It's, you know, we heat it up in butter, so it's boiled in butter. So it's not boiled, but heated in butter. Sure. You know, nice and tender. We put it in a pizza cone, and we got it in a soft roll. It's good stuff. It's not rocket science.
Yeah.
It's that niche stuff that no one's serving here consistently that we feel needs to be on the track with a different twist.
Makes sense.
And we're there. So now it's about just executing it. Hopefully it puts aside enough money for these kids to pay their school off. Mm-hmm. I'd love to be a part of that story where they're like, you know, we started messing around with Jerry and our college got paid for thanks to that. Yeah. Imagine that resume. You know what I'm saying? These kids will be able to do whatever they want. So
that's big time.
I want that to spread aside from, we're impacting people in their 30s, 40s, and 50s who are our tenants and clients. But look at the partnerships we're forming with teenagers and what it could lead to with how they can be impactful when they're in their 20s and 30s to kids, you know, especially down here in the area, you know.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense.
It's that role model thing where I'm coaching them about my mistakes, not just like, hey, man, look at the nice shit I got. No, sit here and hear this hard-ass conversation they're about to have with me.
Yeah.
Because it's son chingazos that took here, and we're about to receive some. Yeah. So those moments of growth are really cool that they're able to sit through. And I'm able to see them put it into action. That is super fulfilling.
Yeah, know? For sure, and rewarding. And they obviously have a respect for you because they wouldn't do it if they didn't. I always get fearful, man, that they're not gonna not them in particular, but just people or in the restaurant industry is yeah, you start off great and you're in a little honeymoon phase or whatever, and everyone's excited, everyone's supporting you. Hopefully, you have a support group, etc. But then it starts to get quiet 30 days down the road, 60 days, 90 days, 6 months, a year. And you have to have that just resiliency to just keep going, bro. And that's
100%.
why, a lot of people ask me, oh, I want to start a restaurant. I want to start this. And I'm like, you really have to gut check yourself first and ask yourself. Now we don't get into anything without thinking, how can we get out of it if we wanted to, right?
100%.
Because that's a big deal too. And so that's probably one of the biggest things I've learned in the last maybe 5 years or so is don't get into anything that you don't know how you would get out of it. Right?
Full circle. We got to have the conversation full circle. And with food trucking, I'm able to have that. Whereas, like I'll say, you know what, the worst thing that can happen if the business fail, well, the deposit is lost.
Mm-hmm.
There is no lease, lawyer, this and that, dance, whoopily whoop.
Yeah.
I love the simplicity of it. And I respect the formal real estate business enough to know that I don't want to dabble in it like that because I don't like the exit strategy. Es un pedón.
Yeah.
So that's fine. My what is it? What I pay myself a year might not have that extra zero, but I don't have that extra bald spot either.
Yeah.
Because of that bullshit. So
hey, who are you talking about?
No, in general. I mean, it comes with it,
Yeah.
My respects to people doing that shit because it comes with the shit,
It really does.
So for me, I like mine. I like the flow of the river for now.
Yeah.
And we'll start working with things. I feel that being consistent and capable in what I'm doing right now will put me across people like you, where if we're doing something, it's not something high risk. It comes from experience, the research it's done because you have your ways of doing it. It's not me starting it with a buddy on just ambiente. Hey, man. It's like, no, man, look, mathematically, this just looks like it'll make sense. This is what the Rocky Road will look like. This is what the Honey Road will look like. What's up? Cool.
Yeah.
You see? So
and then go for it.
I don't feel like I need to break my back anymore to try to change my life on my own. I feel staying consistent and good at what I do is going to open the doors like, hey, man, you got some money aside? Let's try something out. Okay, cool. Right? Instead of
man, dude, you're really in deep with it. You have such a deep understanding of the whole concept as a whole, and that's so impressive. I mean, obviously, you've lived through a lot of it in the last 10 years, but I'm sure there's people who've done food trucks for 10 years that don't know 1/10 of what you know right now. But you're getting, your hands dirty on every aspect of it. And I think that's what's so valuable and so important and what you can offer to other people. So, and that's exactly what Life Currency is about. And you sharing it willingly, I think is so impactful. And you don't need to be on this podcast to do it. You're doing it every day, right? You're doing it every day with the food trucks, with, the students, et cetera. And so kudos to you, man. That's really badass. So where do you see, in the next 5 years, where's it going? Or what do you want it to go?
Man, I think as long as we're staying where we're at the very least, that's exactly where I want to keep going, right? Yeah. I really enjoy the platforms we're with right now. I feel we need to worry more about how to keep performing and growing within these platforms. I feel if we're able to do that, that's extremely successful because I can say, yeah, I want to be in Disney. I want to be in Tokyo, Dubai. They're things we're capable of. But I feel we have so much more to offer still here in Texas that we're not known enough. So we have a lot of work to do. But I wanted to ask you, where do you see yourself? What are you? I mean, I see what you're doing, and I admire it a lot. I mean, I talk a lot about your family's growth and impact through, what started a long time ago with a lot of sacrifice.
Thank you, bro. Yeah.
That I still see you guys putting in today. You didn't stop evolving. You're doing all of this. The brand stays relevant through a lot of hard work and just understanding of the times.
Mm-hmm.
You're not en contra of things like a lot of people are, which causes them to just get gray, right? And that's what I'm scared of is staying become not complacent, but subconsciously you leave that desarrollo behind.
Yeah.
How do you do it to keep an open mind when it comes to stuff like that? Because ya sabes, people are really against the AIs and stuff like that. How were you able to just pivot into just getting with it?
Yeah, that's a great question. And thank you for that. One, I have to immediately give credit to my folks because they put in hard work. They started 15 and 16 years old as a cook and a cashier, and their work ethic from a young age and that story and what I got to live as a child when they were in their 30s, et cetera. I got to see it firsthand, like how much work they put in. And I never felt like there was another option for me besides working hard. And my grandma, dude, my grandma's, I love you, grandma. I don't know your age. 80, let's call it 84. So 84, and she's still at her raspa stand selling every day. So I don't know if you've driven through Fremont.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes,
So
of course.
the raspa stand right there, that's my grandma, and she's been going at it for 40 years now.
Wow.
And she's 84, and she's still every day.
Fulfilled.
Yeah, every day. And so we're like, grandma, it's time to stop. And she's like, okay, well, you stop. And I'm like, oh, okay, And so I think that hard work has been ingrained in us as a family, and I appreciate that so much, because I think in today's world, hard work is kind of a rare quality.
That's why we got
Uh,
robots now. That's
yeah,
time
yeah. So that definitely was a blessing. But no, man, we're doing all kinds of stuff to combat things that we're seeing as potential pressures. To be honest, I mean, one, we're having fun with the brands. I love Dairy Queen. I love Schlotzsky's. I love Cinnabon, because I have a personal connection. I'm not saying you have to. I'm not saying that it's for everyone, but I have it for different reasons, and I could go off on why. But we also have pressures. We also are seeing things in the industry that are evolving and changing. And when you're dealing with older franchises like Schlotzsky's and Dairy Queen, you have to combat some of the pressures that we're facing, right? So relevancy is a big one. You were kind of talking about that. The brand as a whole moves only at the pace of all the franchisees together. We're a partner. We're an entity that's moving forward. And yes, the franchisor may want to move as fast as they want, or some of the individual franchisees want to move faster. But really, as a whole, as a brand, you have to move together. And the evolution of how fast that's going to be is not in your control. And so I feel like there's an inherent risk with that. So we've tried to do things like, well, that's why we have F&P, our management company. We want people to know that whether it's Dairy Queen, Schlotzsky's, or Cinnabon, dude, we run restaurants, and this is how we run restaurants. And it might not be just these three, or it might be these three forever. God willing, it is. But having that individual brand or that individual vehicle to attract talent in today's world, I think is super important. So a lot of the efforts that we're doing are to make sure we stay relevant and make sure that we attract people that see, hey, there's something a little bit more than just burgers, baskets, and blizzards. And that leads me to purpose, right? It gives us a purpose. And so I think you said it, right when we kicked off the podcast, when you can give someone purpose, they just have a better chance at being happy. And I think happy people are productive people, right? And so being able to adapt all these new skill sets and efforts and be willing to pivot, I think has given us a fighting chance to continue. Because I don't shy around the topic. I think today's environment is the hardest it's ever been for restaurateurs. I mean, with technology, with branding, with social media, with just generational gaps, with who you're employing, I think it's the hardest it's ever been to run a restaurant. But if you do it right, it can be very rewarding. Hence, some of your concepts, right? And so I think if we don't stay in the know, you're really going to get left behind very quickly. And yes, that's been great. My parents did great. Oh yes, that's been great. I'm my dad's son, etc. Bro, I've got another 30 years to live myself. Hopefully, God willing, I've got a little boy on the way.
Congratulations! I saw that. Congrats,
Thank you so much. So I think about the next 30 years and try to say, just be realistic. What do I have to do to ensure the future of my family, of my wife, myself, and the people that count on me, right? And my parents are balled up in that, right? Because they're not gonna put the same effort they've always done, and they shouldn't.
Correct.
At some point, I want them to keep moving, but I don't want them to have to stress like they've stressed in the past, right? So a lot of those driving factors, I know it's a kind of a complicated answer to your question, but a lot of those things is what keep us lending an ear or an eye to, okay, where do we need to be today, right? And so all this shit, it's different for me, right? It's not what I do, but it's what we're gonna do to make sure that we don't regress. And because I think if you're not growing in some form or fashion, you're dying.
Yes.
Because
100%.
people are, bro, there's some hard working motherfuckers out there, and they will outwork you, no problem. And then there's some smart people, man. I've met some people, I'm like, God damn, how are these people so smart? Like they just get it faster than you do. And so I think in order to stay relevant, we just gotta lend an ear, and be open minded, man. So that's some of why we're motivated and why we're doing the things that we're doing, man. But it's people like yourself that are supporting means a lot, man. Because you coming on here and sharing, I'll just take a second to mention um, what we were talking about before the pod with life currency, right? So many people talk about the good, um, and I don't want to be a Debbie Downer, right? I'm not trying to be over here all sour or anything, but I also want to know about the bad. You know, when you're gonna go fix somebody's business, I think immediately let's talk about what's hurting you. What are the pain points? That
Correct.
way you can lift at least the foundation, right? Yes, we can accomplish X, Y, Z or whatever, but that's the fun part. That's the easy part.
Correct.
Let's go do this. Let's go do. No, man. Let's focus on what are the pain points and how can we create a natural lift. And so, Life Currency, the podcast, FMP Media, it's given us the opportunity to have discussions and build a community that is talking a little bit about those pain points, celebrating the good, but also acknowledging the bad and saying, hey, how can you tell someone else that's about to get in the food truck business, don't do that shit because I already did it. It doesn't work. You want them to, you don't want copycats, right? You want innovation. You want people that are going to bring their own flavor to it, right? Pun intended. But at the same time, if you can save anybody a little bit of grief or a little bit of heartache, why not, right?
100%. And it
Yeah.
feels good too.
Hell
When
yeah,
you're
it
able to
does.
meet them with that realization and it clicks to them that they're like, damn, I was walking myself into a dead end had it
Mhm.
not been for this piece of advice. When they show the gratitude emotionally, it just
Mhm.
feels really good because they got it like, damn,
Yeah.
where would, like, in their head, it does all the math. Where would I have been with all this lost time, money, energy, whatever? And, you build your reputation for that problem solver in the industry. But, it's
Another thing I'll just add real quick is I liked what you said about like yourself and your future and your family, right? Because bro, yes, there's a lot of great people, there's a lot of great stuff happening, but at the end of the day, I celebrate that, but I don't care, bro. I care about my family. I care about my livelihood and our team. I care about the people that are counting on me. And I really genuinely feel I have a responsibility to make good decisions, to look out and say, okay, where should we be? Right. And so the reason I say that is because also something that I've learned is, bro, money's like the easiest part of it all. And like people, I feel like confuse that. People always say, oh, if only I had a little bit of money.
it's
But bro, I've
doesn't
come
mean
to
you're gonna be disciplined.
oh,
No,
I know
it's
you're
hard. It's
exactly
really
right.
hard. It's really hard to understand what you're trying to tell someone who's behind on bills or just has been financially irresponsible, and you just want them to have a moment of financial competence when you're telling them something like that. It's not gonna happen. Highly unlikely to happen.
Yeah.
But I understand what you're trying to
Even
tell them. Yeah.
and even big businesses, bro.
Yeah.
I've seen so many massive businesses where I'm like, holy crap. And this is not to say I know better or nothing. No, dude, it's just my opinion. I mean, nobody has to listen to it. But you take we just are cranking out a video, hopefully this week. We'll see when it comes out about the Chipotle pizza concept, right? When like, Chipotle, you go down the line, you order all your food or whatever. They try to do that with pizza. Um, I was in line. I was meeting with people about starting a franchise around that pizza concept, and or a pizza concept like that. And I prayed about it and respectfully bowed out. I respectfully bowed out because I just thought that's not how you eat pizza, bro. Like I don't want to stop and pick and choose all my toppings and go down a line or whatever. And I'm not saying I'm perfect or right about any of this, but my gut told me, for me, that's not a right fit. What happened? Bro, it boomed. A lot of concepts took off. Huge businesses, huge businesses. Now, 10 years later, they're having to deal and pivot and say, oh shit,
What
maybe
do we
this
do
is
with
not.
them?
Yeah,
No,
what,
that's like I know what you're talking
you know
about.
what I'm saying?
I know exactly what you're talking about too.
And I don't want to have good runs, bro.
Yeah.
Like I don't. Like I just and that's another thing that I think I was blessed with at early ages is I don't really get like all like starry eyed for all the sexy shit. I think the things that are sexy are not having to worry about tomorrow or the next year or the following year. And there's still gonna be that, but if you can give yourself a fighting chance, bro, I want to go home and I want to be able to be present, with my wife and be present with my child And if I don't make smart enough decisions in my day-to-day life, how am I going to be present?
You won't.
Yeah, but
No.
that's my own fault. And everyone blames it. Oh, it's because of my work or it's good. Bro, I get some stuff is situational, but put yourself in a position to where you can go home and be present. Like, and if you can't do that, bro, it's on you. It's on us.
It's
as men.
2026.
Yeah.
We know better.
Yeah,
We can read better. It's all out there on how to get organized and get with it.
And I feel like we lie to ourselves sometimes. You know, you're like,
Sometimes.
I need to be doing this, or I need. No, bro. What you need to be doing, in my personal opinion, is you need to be a strong man. You need to be a strong member of the community. You need to provide value to your loved ones. And you're not going to be able to do that if you're making stupid decisions out here or overextending yourself or doing whatever. And so those are, I'm not saying it like it's all cooked, bro. Everything we're doing is risk, right? But those are things that run through my head, and that I come to realize that it's a culmination of decisions, but honesty, transparency, and putting forward a huge sense of responsibility for myself to make good decisions, I think is what drives me to continue to evolve. Because I just don't want to be that guy, at least for me, bro. I don't want to have problems when I'm 60 years old and going through a divorce. Hey, no problems to anybody that's doing it, but I just don't want that for myself. And I know I don't want that. So what habits do I have to do today
to eliminate that possibility, reduce the possibility?
Yeah. And it might happen, but at least I'm conscious of
I feel good that it wasn't because anything I didn't try type of shit.
Yeah, exactly, man. So I don't know if that answered your question, bro, but you
oh man,
you see why I asked the questions instead of answering?
No, but
I talk too much.
No, but it pulls the curtain back, and it gives people a like I said, a full circle thing where it's not all, it's not all packed drive-throughs.
No,
you know?
not at all.
The ice cream machine does break.
Yes. At McDonald's more.
Yeah.
No, man, it's definitely not, dude. It's definitely not all cooked. It's definitely not. It takes a lot of hard work, but I'm not here just to tout hard work. I'm here to tout more of a purpose and have a drive and hold yourself accountable. Because if you're in any role of responsibility, which you have a huge responsibility in the food truck game, imagine if you took that lightly. Imagine if you didn't give a shit about the lobster cone co, or if you didn't you're gonna go home and feel like shit, bro.
Yeah.
Like you have a responsibility.
I still have to fight to maintain whatever we have, whether it's success or work, whatever we want to call it. I can't imagine what it'd be like, because it's hard. I do get invited to a lot of cool places, social events, travel, but I have to say no because I'm a weekend warrior. Like, my brands have the most pop during the weekend. So it's not like something that works Monday through that starts on Monday where I'm like, you know what, if we have I can set up the team from Monday through Friday. I can get away a couple of days, come back Monday. We're all right. We don't. We're building up the enthusiasm to work Saturday, Sunday. And I want to be close by because it's typically a big event or something important. You want to be around and available. I feel like the Superman when I have to solve or troubleshoot a problem in a unit. Like, hey, the plumbing's leaking. There's a smell, like a propane leak. And I'm like, they're trying to, from what I've been through, mess with it and get it done. Like, I like being around for that. And I know that inevitably being around was what's granted me. It's not a life of leisure, but I feel good. I'm in a for what it is today. I'm in a badass place today.
But that is leisure.
But damn, bro, it was a bitch, bro. Yeah. Like, I've had some real fucked up days to get here. That need to go in a movie.
Yeah,
but inevitably, understanding that those were resistant tests, to test my not patience, but just commitment. To the desarrollo.
Sure, bro.
And I was like, fuck, just marinating in it. And again, it's nothing if you're not putting some sort of vision board to remind you of it in a sense. Like, I got these little bracelets that remind me of something, because it's hard for us to have it kind of stored there and always kind of what's the word? Just to remind ourselves of it,
Absolutely,
to refrain or whatever the word, to remind us, whatever the word is. And having those things when I wake up or when I go, like right now, I'm going to go home and cross this out of my calendar. I'm going to see these other things. I'd be like, that don't let me stray too far off what my purpose is or the purpose I want for myself. What I'm deficient in, it says it there. What I'm going to do, what I'm happy about. It's corny as shit, but it will help your personal growth.
Yeah, without a doubt.
It is what it is. Yeah. Like, it was the things that I would see on the internet and these influencers that are more successful than me that are cringe. They can buy their neighborhood 10 times over because they're so successful. It's just about, there's a crowd that's going to feel that way and there's a crowd that's going to take it in, focus on those y hazte garras. And for me, that's what I tell the people. Like, you shouldn't get advice from family. No one that hasn't practiced what you're trying to do or where you're at will give you anything applicable.
Yeah.
Si no te están diciendo échale ganas, anything else does not matter. Negative, you should not take anything negative, because someone like us will not give you a negative comment. It's constructive. There's a way to say things. And if you're around people that are like over here just shadowing their doubts on you, like, man, that sounds real risky to you.
Yeah.
You didn't go through what I went through to light the fire that made me think this is the life-changing idea.
Yeah.
You know? So,
dude, I love your story, man. I think you can do great things. I know it's always going to change. I think it's important that we share also that nothing's cooked, right? Nothing's everything what you see from the outside in, and nothing's fully cooked. Who's to say we can't have a real bad year next year and all of a sudden all your habits are gone, you know, and where'd that momentum go? And that's why I'm big on like the foundation. And so I think that anybody that's hearing this, but dude, you can reinvent yourself whenever you want. And you have a second opportunity and you have a chance to build good habits. And so I think you've done that in a lot of ways, and you just continue to add and have a positive trajectory. But I think it's important that we embrace that quality, because the food game's not easy, man. It's not easy. And who's to say it's just because it's good today doesn't mean it's going to be, you know, good tomorrow, right? And so, man, thank you so much for jumping on here. I love your story, dude. And I think you're poised to take it wherever you want, man. So
hopefully Disney.
Yeah, there you go. I like that. Pineapple Ninja is coming soon to Disney. That'd be crazy. What a headline, right? Yeah, real quick, try this with your team or whatever. But we've been doing this new thing that we go around in a circle and we say, describe or say something that you're feeling about the business, but in a headline, right? So people will be like, you know, F&P takes on new project or whatever, right? Or something, or they'll say something. So when you said that right now, what would your headline be, bro, for this year?
South Padre's sweetness makes its way to Disney.
Hey, South Padre all the way to Disney, bro. That's awesome, man. Jerry, thank you so much, man. This has been a lot of fun, bro. Any last comments you got?
God is good, man. Just put your faith in his hands and let the rest take care of itself.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. And teach people how to food truck, baby.
Let's go. It's 2026, man. Everything's possible.
I love it, man. Thank you so much. All right, Jerry, one more thing before you leave, man, from the Life Currency and F&P Media to you, my friend. It's just a little something. Would love if you opened it up, but literally it's a little something.
Oh, wow.
Thanks for coming on, man. I appreciate it.
Like, I open it right here?
Yeah. It's just a little something, bro, but it's things that make us happy. Let's go.
Hello.
Yeah, there you go, baby.
This looks familiar. This would be neat, you know, to have your own Hot Wheel, like actual food truck with the branding.
Imagine Pineapple Ninja Hot Wheel.
I didn't think of that one. That's a good one. Oh, is this a lobster claw?
Yes, sir. Celebrating the new concept, bro.
This is dope, man. This is thoughtful.
Hey, hell yeah, man. We're rooting for you, bro.
Oh, man. Thank you, guys. This is dope.
My pleasure, brother.
Heck yeah, man.
I forget what that one says.
Pineapple, it's fine. You're fine. Everything is fine. I needed this in 2018.
Dude.
Yeah.
You can just prop it there on the truck or something, man. Thank you so much, Jerry.
Man, thank you so much. This is very thoughtful, man. Thank you.
Shout out to the team. Thanks, guys.
You guys definitely know what we're up to. Thank you, guys. That's cool, man.
Welcome to the Life Currency Podcast. I'm your host, Bob Lozano, a show that explores success, growth, and opportunity in the restaurant industry. A restaurant podcast by restaurant people, powered by F&P Media.